What's cracking like everybody between the ribs, Jonathan Morris, and look who popped in and brought me a hat. My good buddy, Don Miller. What's up, man?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Again, where else would I go on Thanksgiving Eve but to Morganic Meats to grab something?
Oh, we got something. We got the smoker dog.
I got to show
We
up
got
with
brisket. We got smoked turkey. We got turkey breast. We got raw. We got fresh. And check out my new hat. Don got me. Make Kamala Indian again. And get that chick out of politics.
It's time to go home for her. I think her career is over. I think the Democrats are pretty concerned. There's a $20 million deficit.
How's that work? They were going to hand us, at one point, she was the best, the most successful, the most talented, the most everything to run our country and work for the working class people to get our economy right. And she can't handle a campaign.
And now we see now, which is a tragedy,
right,
that the DNC are laying off people as we speak. And
during Christmas time.
And they were lying. This race, as I said on my show, this race was never close.
Never.
It also goes to show us how the media can play a role in the deception of the American people.
Isn't that a shame though? Like, they jumped all over Elon. Elon put his thumb on the scale and spent $20 million. But they don't talk about all the money she paid, Oprah and Eminem and everybody else she paid. Trump didn't pay nobody, did he?
No, of course, but he didn't have to. When it's genuine and
right,
conversation is genuine, when people are interested in policy, they want to go toward a person that's presenting strong policy. The fact of the matter is, this lady never offered any details about anything she planned for the American people. Unfortunately, again, we should be looking at the media really critically now, because the media has shown its hand and how it can drive a bad narrative. The American people should be really untrusting of
They should.
mainstream
And
media.
here's the thing. Normally when you lose, take your ball and you go home. Why are they still so loud with all the Democrats trying to, no one will admit why they lost. They're all giving 100 different reasons. First it was the uneducated white women, then it was the Latino men that just won't never elect a woman, and just lie after lie after lie, instead of just coming out and saying, man, that dude knocked us out in the first round.
But again, if you go back to this, how it all started, which is why I committed to the conversation, this was some kind of scam being run on the American people. Joe Biden hurt the Democrats more than anybody or any president in the history of the Democratic Party. And he hurt them with one move. When she came out, when they said Joe was leaving, in 30 minutes, he came out and endorsed her. Their plan was to get to Chicago and have an open convention. In an open convention, she wouldn't have been in the top 5.
No, she wouldn't have been in the top 10.
Joe set them up, threw the finger at them, and said, okay, I'm endorsing her. And he knew, just as many Americans, especially in that circle, knew that this lady had no chance to win.
None whatsoever. She got 0.01 vote in the primary. And that's what trips me out. I don't know if you talk to a lot of liberals on the crazy liberal side now, that they say, we did vote for her. Because, you tell them, hey, y'all got y'all's democracy taken away. We got to pick our guy. We picked Trump. Y'all didn't pick Kamala. And they're like, oh, we did pick her. When we voted for Joe, we voted for her. Ooh, crap.
But the thing about this is, and I think people go directly to the fact that she lost it, that they ran a scam, that this was a money grab, but nobody's saying that President Trump, the Republicans, picked up ground in almost every, outside of major cities, every county in this country.
Yes, and not just the White House. We won the Senate.
But the ground game in the counties around this country, I believe, is going to resonate in the next cycle, the next congressional cycle, surely the next presidential cycle.
Yes.
How do you pick up ground in many of these places that have been blue for 40 years? How do you win Miami-Dade? Miami-Dade has gone
blue forever.
Blue for just the late 80s.
Yes.
So I think that the tragedy that has hurt this party, I just can't see them bouncing back.
Well, it won't be quickly healed because, one, there's no accountability. They won't take any blame. They still are putting blame on everybody else. How dare you go out and blame the people?
But I think it's the fact that they don't have a leader.
They don't. And Joaquin Jeffries is not the next guy.
I think if they had a leader, I think a legitimate leader looking at it from the perspective, it is time for us to fix this problem.
So play devil's advocate. If you could pick, like, who would be the worst best guy? Worst guy for us, best guy for them to lead them out of this debacle. because they don't resonate with people no more.
And that's the problem.
There's nobody.
The guys that they had
Right.
ran when they saw what was happening. When you go to Shapiro and then you go to Westmore out of Maryland, and the congressman from North Carolina, nobody wanted to be a part of this.
Right.
And think about this. How many of those major Democratic players travel the country for this lady?
None.
She had to gravitate toward entertainers.
Right.
Most of in the history of presidential elections, you absolutely saw the major players in the party stomping across the country, going to small towns, going to cities, but they rather go out and pay millions of dollars to washed up entertainers and whores.
Yes.
Whores.
Yes.
That the lady that they brought on the stage, that she's a whore.
Right. Yes.
And so when was the last time a whore opened up for an American presidential candidate? And when I call her a whore, I call her a whore because she called herself a whore. When she said she drugged men in the strip club and robbed them.
Yes.
Okay. When she sings about her vagina.
Right.
I think
that classifies
her as a whore.
You're not talking bad about her. You're repeating what she has said about herself.
Absolutely.
So you have no fault here whatsoever.
But when you get to that's when I knew they were desperate. You know, when they go out and they get Megan Thee Stallion and the Booty Shakers.
Right.
I wasn't thrown off by that because it was in Atlanta. And the black community in Atlanta is a different kind of place.
Right.
Even though they were offended by that.
Yeah.
But when you go out and get the last Cardi B, who has a history of ridiculous ass behavior.
Right.
You put her on the stage with this presidential candidate, I knew there was desperation.
Well, and the hypocrisy, I'm afraid of the hypocrisy knows no bounds. They talk about Stormy Daniels like it was a life-changing event.
Right.
But they fail to mention that Cardi B was actually a stripper. And she talks about being a stripper.
Who talked about drugging men and robbing them.
Right.
Who also just told her baby daddy that she was having sex with his dead bandmate a few weeks ago.
Right. And this is who you represent yourself with and open up with.
Right.
And so it's like, shut up about everything else.
Right.
They have nothing to talk about. And for me, I'm not overly offended because I'm not a Democrat. I've never been a Democrat, never been liberal. But how offensive is it to the normal people who, like my great-grandpa was a diehard Democrat. And he's way back before Kennedy, right? But they put their stake in these people. They get up and go to work with these people. The blue-collar person that used to identify with the Democrats.
But Jonathan, I think that there were many Democrats who go to work every day, who work hard, who take care of their families, were just as offended by this as Republicans.
Look, there's Democrats sitting in my church that voted for Trump that are like, we don't identify with nothing they're saying. They're not saying anything that we go by.
I think they lost their way. A lot of it was out of desperation. They knew she wasn't winning, but the manipulation.
So, all right, so ask me this then. Why'd they keep funding it? Why, $20 million,
But you gotta understand,
or would it be $20 billion?
No, it was $1.5 billion.
All right, $20 million
in 170 days. They owe $20 million.
Right.
So there are some people who are not going to get paid. There are some vendors who won't be getting paid unless
the DNC's going to screw people who put work in at these functions.
Yes.
So like if they had to call Morganic Meats, hey, we want you to cater this event.
And you didn't get paid then,
we didn't
probably
get
won't get paid. But I think there are going to be some lawsuits to deal with that.
All right. And who's it going to fall on? Who's the $20 million going to fall on?
It's going to fall on the Democratic National Committee.
So you're thinking that's why she has to run again?
That's why she's saying she has to run again, because there are people who would still give her money, unfortunately.
Yeah. Just in spite of Trump or in spite of Republicans?
Well, the money wasn't given to her. The money was given against Trump.
Okay, all right.
So that $1.5 billion was given against Trump. That was nobody was giving her money.
They would have gave it to any figurehead they
Absolutely.
put on.
That was $1.5 billion against Trump.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Stick around, stay tuned, hit the like button, follow, subscribe. We're going to keep doing this. Follow Don at the Don Miller Show and me between the ribs. We're going to keep staying at it. Stay crack-a-lack and happy Thanksgiving.